And everyone knows long-distance relationships are hard. But after a rocky patch, the Chinese Premier has today visited Parliament House with one message: we're committed to making this thing work.
This shows that both countries attach great importance to our relationship and that this relationship is on the right track.
As you know, I'm determined to keep growing our relationship where we can.
It was all smiles, handshakes and yearbook signings when China's Premier Li dropped in on Albo today, and no sign of the tension that's plagued the two countries in recent years, aside from maybe this bit. Hopefully that didn't send mixed messages, because Australia's hoping this visit will result in the lifting of remaining trade restrictions for lobster and beef.
We want to see those suspensions lifted right now. We want to see that done today. We wanted to see that done yesterday.
What was done yesterday was the promise that Adelaide Zoo would take delivery of some fresh pandas to replace the old ones. News that delighted everyone, almost.
And if you've got a choice between us leasing two pandas or having a more peaceful world under global rules, well, I think I'll take the latter. You can take your pandas back.
Seriously, would anyone take foreign policy advice from Barnaby Joyce?
Well, the protesters outside Parliament House today are likely with him on the panda thing.
China is very good at showing the good image, but at the same time, it's very good at hiding the bad image.
Crowds protesting China's actions in Tibet and Hong Kong, clashing with pro-China counter-protesters. With tension also between Aussie journalist Cheng Lei, once imprisoned in China, and Chinese officials, who she claims deliberately blocked her view as she tried to report on the ceremony.
I'm only guessing that it's to prevent me from saying something or doing something that they think would be a bad look.
Look, I'm not aware of those issues. It's important that people be allowed to participate fully.
The PM doing his best to be diplomatic while the cameras were rolling, acknowledging the divisions but avoiding specifics.
We also have our differences reflecting our different political systems, approaches and priorities. And that's why our candid dialogue is so important.
So is this visit just PR or a crucial step in addressing the very real chasm between the two countries?
Vicky Xu is a journalist who has received death threats after reporting on Chinese labour camps and was at the protests outside Parliament House. We spoke to her a little earlier. Vicky, tell us about the protests today. How violent did it get?
The protests themselves, the part I could see, they didn't get so violent. But I was expecting, because of my reputation, because of who I am, I was expecting perhaps verbal insults or even physical assaults coming from the pro-China rally, but that didn't happen for me. The violence came directly from the Australian police.
What happened? What did they do?
So a friend of mine was attempting to burn a Chinese Communist Party flag on the lawn in front of the Parliament House, and he was told by the Australian police he could not do that. So he stopped. He didn't keep trying. And then the police tried to confiscate his flag, which he refused. And the police tried to take the flag by force. And that's when I arrived at the scene. I said, "Excuse me, why are you roughing up my friend?" And one police officer laid a hand on me, and I said, "Excuse me, you are not allowed to touch me." And then next thing I knew, I had 5 or 6 police officers surrounding me and shoving me around and then taking me down, and then I was down. One police officer put a hand on my neck, and another one took my hand and squeezed my finger. So I have a slight injury from the excessive force used by the Australian police today. It's such an irony.
So we should probably hear some of your background, because we know that you've had your own run-ins with China over things that you've written in the past. What happened?
Really, really long story made really, really short. I was born and raised in China. I was trained to be a state media propagandist in China, and I left China and studied in Australia. I worked for the New York Times and the ABC, and then in 2020, I wrote about forced labor, done by the Uyghurs, who are a people that the Chinese government put in concentration camps. So as a result of all my work, my professional work, the Chinese media, they launched a propaganda campaign in 2021 calling me a traitor, a slut, and accused me of abusing drugs and just totally trashed my reputation to the point that I was alienated and ostracized by the Chinese community, both in China and here in Australia. And I've spent the last couple of years just trying to heal from PTSD while being chased around by Chinese agents that are roaming in Australia and elsewhere. So I'm the target of a global manhunt, and I really don't want to be one. That's the short of my story.
Vicky, at the joint media conference inside Parliament today, accredited Sky News reporter Qiang Lei appeared to be blocked by Chinese officials. You're mates with Qiang Lei.
Yes, I
what
am.
did you make of that, and have you heard from her?
And I'm not surprised that, when she made an appearance, when she was in the same room as the Chinese premier, somebody tried to block her. And this is precisely, 2 Chinese officials were using their bodies to block Qiang Lei from being seen. Australian parliament staffers, they did a wonderful job from preventing Chinese staffers from doing that. Qiang Lei is amazing. Like right after I got shoved by Australian police, she sent me a message asking if I'm okay. So I really appreciate her, and I would love to see more of her with the Chinese premier being present and without.
Well, Vicky, it's a very serious situation and we appreciate you chatting with us. I have one final question. Are you excited about Adelaide Zoo getting new pandas?
I think, no, I am not. I think pandas, they're too lazy to and to the point that they're going extinct. I think they deserve what they have coming for them.
Whoa!
And look at me, this outfit I've got going. I am so much cuter than those giant, fat, not pandas. I think Australia is so lucky to have me, and the pandas, we can let them go. Honestly. I'm Australian. The pandas are not.
Yeah, exactly.
They've got no loyalty. They've got no contribution. They just eat and not and they go extinct.
I agree. They don't pay a dime in tax. I'm with you.
I'm just saying, if there's a choice between me and the pandas, I should be chosen.
Right. Fair enough.
Vicky, we appreciate your time. Thanks for chatting with us.
I appreciate you guys too. Bye-bye.
That ended well.
That just went from 0 to 100.
Quite a foul-mouthed dissident, isn't it? But we should point out as well that Vicky is a comedian as well.
Person,
and had actually done a stand-up show with Qiang Lei. Yeah.
But who would have thought my hard-hitting panda question would have set her off like that?
Well,
the investigative journalist.
It was compellingly argued. Let's put it that way.